हिटलर की अनसुनी कहानी, तानाशाही का काला सच. Yo, what is up, bros? Ankur Sarkar here, back with another video. But this isn't your typical meme review or gameplay. Today we're diving deep into history. Buckle up because things are about to get dark, real dark. आज हम जानेंगे हिटलर के जीवन की अनसुनी कहानियां और उनके शासनकाल के काले सच. This dude, right? Hitler seriously messed up the world. We're talking World War II, the Holocaust, a whole lot of death and destruction. But how did this one dude from humble beginnings rise to power and commit such atrocities? That's what we're here to uncover. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew, because things are about to get real. All right, picture this: Austria, late 1800s. A little baby Hitler is born. No, seriously, this tiny human would grow up to be one of the most hated figures in history, but back then he was just a regular kid, right? Well, not exactly. See, little Adolf had a tough childhood. His dad was strict, his family life was unstable, and he wasn't exactly winning any popularity contests. Some historians say these early experiences really messed him up, planting the seeds of anger and resentment that would later fuel his rise to power. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pewds, are you saying a bad childhood turns you into a dictator? Chill out, bros. It's way more complicated than that. But it's definitely interesting to see how these early experiences might have shaped Hitler's worldview. He wasn't a very good student, dropped out of school, and had dreams of becoming an artist. Can you imagine Hitler painting landscapes? Weird, right? But he actually got rejected from art school, not once but twice. Talk about a blow to the ego. Some say this rejection fueled his anger and resentment even more. He felt like a failure, an outcast. And guess what? That feeling of being misunderstood and underestimated would become a powerful tool later on. So there you have it. A glimpse into the early life of one messed up dude. But hold on tight, because things are about to get a whole lot crazier. Stay tuned for Chapter 2, where we explore Hitler's entry into politics. World War I breaks out, and guess who's pumped? Yep, our boy Adolf. He sees it as a chance to prove himself, to finally be someone important. He enlists in the German army, fights on the front lines, and even earns some medals for bravery. But here's the thing: Germany loses the war, and Hitler, along with many other Germans, is devastated. He feels betrayed by his leaders, humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, and angry about the state of his country. Sound familiar? It's that feeling of resentment and anger again, bubbling to the surface. This is where things get interesting. Germany is in chaos, the economy is in shambles, people are desperate, and they're looking for someone to blame. Enter Hitler, stage right. He joins a small political party called the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party for short. Remember that name? It's going to be huge. Hitler, with his fiery speeches and promises to restore Germany to its former glory, quickly rises through the ranks. He knows exactly what to say to tap into people's fears and frustrations. He blames the Jews, the communists, the intellectuals, anyone he can scapegoat for Germany's problems, and people eat it up. He's like a charismatic cult leader, drawing in crowds with his powerful speeches and promises of a better future. But this isn't some harmless self-help guru, bros. This is Hitler, and his rise to power is about to plunge the world into darkness. Okay, so Hitler is gaining popularity. But how does he go from giving speeches to ruling Germany? Well, it's a slow and calculated climb to the top. He uses propaganda like a boss. Posters, rallies, radio broadcasts, you name it. He floods Germany with messages of hate and division, slowly poisoning the minds of the masses. And guess what? It works. People are buying into his twisted ideology. They're scared, they're angry, and they're looking for someone to lead them out of the darkness. And Hitler, with his promises of a stronger, more powerful Germany, seems like the answer to their prayers. In 1933, the Nazi Party becomes the largest party in Parliament. Hitler is appointed Chancellor, like the Prime Minister. He's finally in a position of power, but he's not done yet. He wants absolute control. Remember that fire I mentioned earlier? Well, it plays a key role in Hitler's rise to power. The Reichstag building, the German parliament, goes up in flames. Coincidence? I think not. Hitler blames the communists, uses the fire as an excuse to seize emergency powers, and suspends civil liberties. With his opponents silenced and the country gripped by fear, Hitler consolidates his power. He bans all other political parties, establishes a totalitarian state, and becomes the Führer, the supreme leader of Germany. Just like that, Germany goes from a democracy to a dictatorship. Chapter 4. द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध, हिटलर की महत्वाकांक्षाएं और गलतियां. All right, bros, things are about to get really real. Hitler, fueled by his twisted ideology and a thirst for power, sets his sights on world domination. He wants to expand German territory, create a master race, and crush anyone who stands in his way. He starts by rebuilding the German military, defying the Treaty of Versailles. He annexes Austria, his home country, without firing a shot. He then sets his sights on Czechoslovakia, demanding the Sudetenland region. The world watches in horror as Hitler's aggression grows bolder with each passing day. Then comes 1939. Hitler, in a pact with Stalin, invades Poland. This is the final straw. Great Britain and France declare war on Germany, and World War II begins. The world is plunged into the deadliest conflict in human history, all thanks to the ambitions of one man. Hitler's early military campaigns are shockingly successful. His armies conquer Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium and France in rapid succession. It seems like nothing can stop the Nazi war machine. But Hitler makes a critical mistake. He underestimates the Soviet Union. He launches a massive invasion in 1941, Operation Barbarossa, believing he can conquer Russia before winter sets in. Big mistake, huge. The invasion bogs down, the Russian winter sets in, and the tide begins to turn against Germany. The rest, as they say, is history. Chapter 5. Holocaust. Hitler की सबसे भयावह योजना. Okay, bros, this is the part of the story that's really hard to stomach. While all of this is going on, Hitler is orchestrating something truly horrific, the Holocaust. He's always hated Jews, blaming them for Germany's problems. But now, with absolute power, he puts his twisted ideology into action. He orders the systematic persecution and extermination of Jews, along with other groups deemed undesirable by the Nazi regime. Think about that for a second. An entire group of people targeted for extermination simply because of their religion, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, or their disabilities. It's pure evil. Jews are rounded up and forced into ghettos, segregated areas with terrible living conditions. Then comes the concentration camps. Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, names that will forever be etched in history as places of unimaginable horror. Millions of innocent people are murdered in gas chambers, worked to death, or subjected to horrific medical experiments. Children, women, men, the elderly, no one is spared from the Nazis' brutality. The Holocaust is a stain on human history, a testament to the depths of depravity that humans are capable of. And it all happened because one man, Adolf Hitler, decided to turn his hatred and prejudice into genocide. Chapter 6. हिटलर का अंतिम दिन. कैसे समाप्त हुई एक तानाशाही? It's 1945. The war is going badly for Germany. Allied forces are closing in on Berlin from both the east and the west. The once mighty Nazi war machine is crumbling, and Hitler's dreams of world domination are turning to dust. He's holed up in his underground bunker, the Führer bunker in Berlin. He's surrounded by his most loyal followers, but even they can see that the end is near. The Soviet Red Army is just blocks away, and the sound of artillery fire fills the air. On April 30th, 1945, with Soviet troops closing in, Hitler commits suicide. He shoots himself in the head while his wife, Eva Braun, takes a cyanide pill. Their bodies are doused in gasoline and burned just outside the bunker entrance. And just like that, the reign of terror of one of history's most notorious dictators comes to an end. The world breathes a collective sigh of relief, but the scars of Hitler's actions will never truly heal. Chapter 7. इतिहास की नज़र में हिटलर, सीख और चेतावनी सो. What can we learn from all of this? Hitler's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder of what can happen when hatred, nationalism, and unchecked ambition run rampant. It shows us how easily a charismatic leader can manipulate people's fears and insecurities to gain power. It highlights the dangers of propaganda and the importance of critical thinking, and it underscores the devastating consequences of silence and indifference in the face of evil. Hitler's legacy is one of death, destruction, and unimaginable suffering. But it's also a reminder that we must never forget the past, lest we repeat its mistakes. We must learn from history, fight against injustice, and always stand up for what is right. Chapter 8. रोचक तथ्य और अनसुनी बातें। हिटलर के बारे में 10 ऐसी बातें जो आप नहीं जानते। All right, bros, time for some bonus facts about Hitler that might surprise you. Did you know that Hitler was a vegetarian? Yeah, seriously. He was obsessed with animal rights and even had plans to ban hunting after the war. Ironic, considering how little he valued human life. He was also a huge Disney fan. He loved Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and even had a portrait of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company, hanging in his office. Talk about strange taste. Another surprising fact, Hitler was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1939. I know, right? It sounds completely insane, but it actually happened. A Swedish politician nominated him as a joke, but it was later withdrawn. Still pretty messed up. Hitler was also a bit of a hypochondriac. He was terrified of getting cancer and had a personal physician who kept him pumped full of vitamins and weird concoctions. Maybe he should have been more worried about the millions of people he was murdering. He was also a huge fan of Wagner's operas, which isn't surprising considering their themes of nationalism and Germanic mythology. He even had a special theatre built in Bayreuth, Germany, specifically for Wagnerian performances. These weird quirks and contradictions just go to show that even the most evil people are complex individuals, but it doesn't excuse their actions, not even close. Outro. Sabak yaad rakhein so. There you have it, brothers, the story of Adolf Hitler, a man who went from being a struggling artist to one of history's most notorious dictators. It's a story full of darkness, brutality and unimaginable suffering, but it's also a story that we must never forget. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो, तो लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करना न भूलें और हमें कमेंट्स में बताएं कि आप और किसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated. Until next time, bros, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay